You won't believe what happened to Kimani Mbugua's father. Just months after burying his son, he was thrown behind bars, arrested, detained, locked up at the Nairobi West Prison.
Kimani Mbugua's dad, yani Baba Kimani Mbugua, the late Kimani Mbugua, the journalist mwenye alizikwa late last year. So the dad kumbe was arrested back in February early this year, that is 2026. Na Baba Kimani Mbugua ameshinda prison from February.
An alleged extortion case, and what he is now claiming from inside that prison cell is going to leave you stunned. This is the same family that was already shattered by tragedy. The same father who buried his son in October 2025, now fighting for his own freedom in 2026. Coincidence or something much darker? Digital creator Vickinah dropped the bombshell, the allegations, extortion, but Dedan Kimmani says he was framed, completely innocent, and what he says really happened that day doesn't add up.
And according to him, he was arrested kwa sababu ya extortion, but also according to him ako innocent. Yeah, according to him anaona ameekelewa. So I was informed about his arrest, last month, April, ikiishaisha. And nikatry kuinform the relevant people, but nikameka kwa ngumu. But pia unajua na hizi kesi pia, you never know.
But that is not all. Wait until you hear why this case suddenly went public months later. He has been sitting in custody for months. No resolution, no powerful legal team. And now, the family is making desperate pleas for pro bono lawyers. Why now? What changed? And who benefits from keeping him silent?
Machaji na manyonyo ni mwecheche. Unakumbuka Kimani Mbugua, manze, the late Kimani Mbugua bana. Manze, may soul rest in peace. Iyo si ngori. Mzee wake jua kondakas. Mzee alijadaliwa na Manjege. Saizi ni kama sijua kwa Indama ni wapi. Kutoka February. Ati alipiga watu extortion nyingine mwecheche hicho. Bana jua aliingiza watu. Lakini yeye mwenyewe anasema jo ameshikishwa handball jo. Anasema yeye mwenyewe ako innocent. Bana jo, so kama kuna watu pale wengi wanaweza saidia huyu Morio jo, wende wasaidia huyu mzae. Wao jo hizo strategy inapiga familia aje. Mtu hii manze anazidi. Mzae saa hizi anavamiwa na nini na chawa. Wewe ni mbaya usake jua.
A grieving father, a criminal charge, a prison cell, and a mystery that is raising serious questions across Kenya. Is this justice, or is there a shocking truth that no one wants exposed? Stay with us, because what we uncovered next is going to leave you speechless. Now, let me paint you the picture of what transpired in February of 2026. Dedan Kimmani, a father still grieving the loss of his son, was arrested by the Kenyan authorities on allegations of extortion. Extortion is a serious charge under the Kenyan law. It involves obtaining something, usually money, through force, threats, or coercion. But here is what makes this case particularly troubling. The details surrounding the arrests remain incredibly vague. Who was allegedly extorted? What evidence led to the arrests? What was the supposed motive? Vickinah, the digital creator who first publicized the case in May 2026, shared that Dedan had been held at the Nairobi West Prison, housing both remand prisoners awaiting trial and convicted individuals. And this means that as of now, he hasn't been convicted of any crime. He is presumed innocent under the Kenyan law, and yet he has been behind bars for months, separated from his family during one of the most difficult periods of their lives. Now, before we go further, let me give you some context about Mbugua's family recent history, because understanding what they have been through makes this current situation even more heartbreaking. Kimani Mbugua wasn't just any journalist. He worked for some of Kenya's leading media houses. His talent was undeniable, his potential limitless. But behind the professional success, Kimani Mbugua battled severe mental health challenges, and his struggles became public knowledge as his condition deteriorated. But behind the professional success, videos circulated online showing Kimani in distressing states. The media industry that once celebrated him seemed ill-equipped to help him. His family, including his father Dedan, watched helplessly as Kimani Mbugua's mental health declined. Kimani Mbugua passed away, and the exact circumstances of his death sparked numerous conversations across Kenya about how we treat mental health. For Dedan, this wasn't national conversation. This was his son, his flesh and blood, and imagine that grief. Now, imagine that you're beginning to process this unimaginable loss. Police officers show up at your door. You are arrested, accused of extortion, thrown into Nairobi West Prison. Your pleas of innocence fall on deaf ears. But that is not all. Wait until you hear what happened when the family tried to get legal help and why this case remained hidden from the public view for months. 3 months after Dedan's arrest, 7 months after Kimani's death, the family makes a decision. They are going public. The message was clear and desperate. Dedan Kimmani needs legal help. He has been in detention for months without adequate legal representation. The family is appealing for pro bono lawyers or any form of legal aid to help navigate this predicament. Now, let us pause here and think about what this tells us. In Kenya, like many countries, access to quality legal representation often depends on financial resources. The Mbugua family, already dealing with the financial and emotional toll of Kimani's illness and death, now faces legal fees they cannot afford. And without proper legal representation, Dedan's chances of a fair hearing diminish significantly. The prosecution has resources, the state machinery behind them. Meanwhile, Dedan sits in a cell, his defense hampered by lack of funds and legal expertise. Vickinah's appeal highlighted another troubling aspect. The case had been kept relatively quiet for months. Why? Was the family advised to stay silent? Were they afraid of public backlash or judgment? Or was there pressure from other quarters to keep this case out of the spotlight? These questions matter because they point to a larger systemic issues. According to reports from human rights organizations in Kenya, remand prisoners, those awaiting trial, often spend months or even years in detention before their cases are heard. The backlog in Kenya's court system means justice delayed becomes justice denied, and for Dedan, every day in Nairobi West Prison is another day away from his family. Dedan Kimmani doesn't just claim innocence, he claims he was deliberately framed, and let that sink in for a moment. This is not a case of mistaken identity or being in the wrong place at the wrong time. According to Dedan, someone intentionally set him up to face these extortion charges. But who? Why do such a thing? And why? While specific details remain scarce, publicly, at least, we can examine the context and draw some informed conclusion. Kimani Mbugua's death wasn't without controversy. Questions were raised about how he was treated during his mental health crisis, and some pointed fingers at media houses. Others questioned whether family, friends, and the public did enough. There were legal and ethical questions swirling around the circumstances of his care and ultimate passing. Dedan Kimmani's situation is a tragic case study in multiple systemic failures. First, there is the mental health crisis that took Kimani Mbugua's life. Second, there is the justice system that has kept Dedan detained for months without trial. Third, there is the economic barrier to justice. Legal representation shouldn't be a luxury, but in reality, quality defense is often reserved for those who can afford it. The Mbugua family's double tragedy highlights how vulnerable families become when crises strike. One tragedy, Kimani's death, leaves them emotionally and financially depleted. Then another crisis, Dedan's arrest, strikes before they have recovered. There is no safety net, no buffer, So, where does this leave us now? Dedan Kimmani remains in Nairobi West Prison along Lang'ata Road. The extortion allegations hang over him. His claims of being framed await investigations. His family continues to appeal for legal assistance, and every day that Dedan spends behind bars without a fair trial is a day stolen from a family already devastated by a loss. And if you're watching this video, here's what you can do. First, share this story. Awareness creates pressure, pressure creates action, and the more people know about Dedan Kimmani's case, the harder it becomes to ignore. Second, if you're a lawyer in Kenya or know one who might offer pro bono assistance, reach out. The legal expertise could be the difference between continued detention and freedom. Third, let's keep the conversation going about systemic reforms. How do we fix a justice system where economic status determines outcomes? And how do we ensure timely trials for remand prisoners? How do we protect vulnerable citizens from false accusations and legal weaponization? These are not just Dedan Kimmani's issues, they are societal issues that affect all of us. Dedan Kimmani maintains his innocence. He deserves the chance to prove it in the court of law with proper legal representation. That is not favor, that is a fundamental right, and let's make sure he gets it. Let's catch up on the next celebrity drama fights.